Hello, this is Rod, Live Within Your Means. Hey, I just finished up a video yesterday that needs to be uploaded. The second one in a series about growth root stimulators. And I used a number of things that didn't work really well. Vinegar worked okay, aspirin worked kind of okay, and the honey, dipping them in honey really didn't work well at all. The commercial growth stimulator did work pretty good. And of course let's see, this one was dipped in cinnamon, and I had a bunch of those work too, but the one that worked the best was aloe vera. And so other than the commercially purchased root growth stimulator. And so I got some more aloe vera over at my parents' place last night, and what we're going to do is take a few of these others that didn't work so well, and what we're going to do is, even though it's, a little bit of time has gone by here, because I started these back on the 11th of March, and it's the 19th of April now. The ones that didn't work, I'm going to put those back in and dip them in aloe vera and see if we can't get those growing again. I'm also going to, these hazelnuts or filberts that really didn't grow real well, but they started. I'm going to also dip those in the aloe vera. So I'm going to open this up. I've also got over here some fruit, cuttings, the early branches that have come on. They've got leaves coming on them from apple and apricot, different types of apple and apricot. And I'm going to try to see if I can get some roots growing on those. I can't promise what's going to happen, but we're going to give it a try. So I'm going to, let's put these over here. Where's going to be the best place to be able to see this? And I'll lower this down so you can see what it is that I'm doing. I know it looks a little bit messy behind it here with all that stuff, but we're going to give this a try. Now, first of all, these, what I want to do is get some aloe vera on the bottom of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an aloe vera leaf, and literally what I'm going to do is shove it right inside, get that all covered with the aloe vera. That is gooey stuff. We're going to shove that back down in the dirt. Now these are filberts that were cut off, that were kind of growing around the roots of a filbert. I'm going to call it a bush. Some people call it a tree, but I'm going to get those down in there and see if we can't get these others rooted. These were cut back in, early March, and see if this late, if we can still get those growing. Now these got buds on them. They haven't opened up. This one doesn't even really have buds on it, but when I cut the top of this, it still got green there. I don't know if you can see that. If I'm close enough for you to see, when I cut that off, it's still green inside. So I have hope that this will work. And I'm also going to take these other grape cuttings, and we're going to do these again. And even though they didn't work, we're going to see if we can get them to work. So we'll take them out, put them back in the same containers, except for the fact that they will have been dipped down in aloe vera. So I'm just going to take these out one at a time, shove them back in after I get some aloe vera all over it, because that seemed to, have the best success other than the commercially purchased root growth stimulator. And so this is about this channel to help people live within their means. And that doesn't mean go out and spend a bunch of money on a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have. It means learn to use other things and learn to spend less. It's nice when you can make more money. Some people have some challenges with that. In fact, most people have challenges making more money. And so instead of just saying, oh, you need to make more money, well, there's only so much time in a week. And some people have kids to take care of. Some people have older parents to help out with. I've got some older parents that are nearby, and I'm close by to assist them. you know, once upon a time I was making a lot more money than I'm making right now. If I told you how little I've made the last few years, it's less than most of you have made. But I live within my means, and we're just fine. We're just fine right now. So anyhow, most of these I've got dipped on here. The one that before, these were the ones that had been dipped in vinegar before. And I'm just using a leaf to, you know, splitting it apart to put this down inside and get this aloe vera on the roots. And it seems to help stimulate the root growth. There's one more here that I had not done, and this is making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. I will clean the mess up. And sorry if I'm not doing that right in front of the lens, and I apologize. I need to work on improving my videography skills. Okay, so this one we redid. And I'm going to grab another leaf, a bigger leaf, so that I have a little bit more room to put these in. And I'm just kind of splitting this open here, as you can see, and shoving it in, you know. So they weren't made to shove all these big branches in. This is kind of a big one. All righty. And I don't know how well this is going to work, because these are the ones that didn't really root real well. But we're going to find out if they'll do a little better. So just want to get this all over here, this gooey stuff. And if you've put aloe vera on burns before, or ripped an aloe vera leaf open, you've seen just how mucusy that aloe vera stuff is. And that's okay, because we're just trying to see if we can use it to accomplish what we're trying to do without going and purchasing more commercial root growth stimulator. And we'll see how it works. So it seemed to work better than the everything but the commercially purchased root growth stimulator. And you'll notice you get some little knobs on here, and that seems to be a good place for roots to come out instead of just out the side. So I was trying on every one of these to have a little, we're going to call it a knot, where it would normally, you know, have some leaves come out and start growing. And we're shoving that down in there and trying to get it to grow roots there. So these are some grapes that I got. They were coming across the fence at my dad's place from a neighbor. They were a blue-black seedless grape, and boy, they're delicious, and they made delicious raisins also. So get some of that gooey stuff on here. Yeah. All righty. We've got this one done. We'll move that into the back. I almost want to get another leaf because I'm really ripping this thing apart. This is the one that was dipped in cinnamon, and just rip this aloe vera leaf up and get some more of that gooey stuff on here. Now, you can all try out some different things, and you know, I thought about breaking a grapefruit open and seeing if grapefruit juice would help, because it seemed like the vinegar certainly did something, and aspirin, vinegar is acetic acid, aspirin is acetyl salicylic acid. So it seemed that the acids seemed to do something. Now, I don't know if aloe vera juice, you know, from these leaves is acidic, but I do know that two of the things that we used that did work somewhat, they were definitely somewhat acidic. I am trying to remember, I'm trying to remember which ones I put back in there and which ones, I think I've lost track. I may need to do them all again there. I just need to be turning this the right direction. And I think it's about time that I grab another leaf. So, let me just squeeze this one up. Sorry for not doing that right in front of the lens on my phone, which is my camera. It's an iPhone 12 and new to me. Lost my iPhone 8 a while back, several weeks back in March. And then I ended up getting a used iPhone 12 for about $400 and a quarter. And so that is what I'm using now. Some of you guys have newer iPhones, you know, you got an iPhone 14 or 15. For all I know, the 16s are out too, but I didn't need that. And so this 12 has been doing just fine for me. And the battery lasts, oh my goodness, that battery really lasts compared to that iPhone 8. The battery was pretty shot on it, and it had to be charged multiple times a day. It just didn't last. And then it was found. They actually closed it in another book. So there we go. We've got 2 more of these to do. And this is the one that was dipped in honey. These did not work. That honey really didn't work very well at all. Although, yeah, those are not roots. So maybe if I pull those all out, then I'll know for sure which ones are done right. Pull them out. And after I get some aloe vera juice on those, then put that back in. Put them back in, then we'll know that those were, that we got aloe vera juice on those, on the bottom of those, to stimulate the root growth on these. And plant propagation, I feel like, is a productive thing. It's important. And because, you know, the day may come when you need to know how to do this. And so that's why, you know, these videos are worth sharing. And if you'll, you know, give the video a like, then that'll help the algorithms get the videos out so that other people see them. And, you know, increase the chances that other people will learn to do these things that'll help them. And, you know, the more we live within our means, the better off society is going to be. Instead of everybody borrowing money, people get pretty stressed out when they have a lot of debt, when they can't pay their bills. You know, people, it's really sad, but a lot of people, a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world live beyond their means. And then when they can't pay their bills and things start getting, foreclosed on by banks, repossessed, like cars get repossessed, homes get foreclosed on, then those individuals seem to be under a lot more stress. And when people don't have money, crime increases. Some people try to figure out what they can do to solve those problems. And unfortunately, some people, you know, turn to crime. And that's, you know, certainly, I don't believe that's a way to go. Certainly doesn't teach your kids that that's a solution, that, you know, a solution. If they learn that, then what are you doing for them? That's, you know, if they start turning to crime, you increase the chances that your own kids are going to be going to jail. You don't want to do that. So learn some skills, teach your kids to live within their means, share the channel with them and let them watch. They will really, you know, it's kind of neat. I started gardening when I was young. My parents bought a place that had a big quarter, you know, actually there was more than 3/4 of an acre of land. And we grew a garden that was not quite a 1/4 acre, but it was big. It was big, and it was a lot of work. And we would work in that garden, weed the garden, every day during the summer. Sure spent a lot of time weeding. But then in the mid-afternoon, my dad had bought a pass. If you can imagine, the pass to the city pool back at that time was $40. And so we would go in the afternoon, had to get the chores done first, and weeding and helping my mother put up fruit. And then, let me pull these out and then we'll put them back in after there's some aloe vera juice applied to those roots. And that way we get them all. Alrighty. Anyway, we would go swimming at the city pool. And so that was kind of a treat after working out in the garden and helping Mom put up fruit, bottle, can, bottles of fruit. We'd pick raspberries, make raspberry jam, bottle raspberries, pick apricots, again, bottle apricots, make apricot jam. And I said to my mom one day, I said, hey, what if we mix apricots and raspberries and make a jam that's a mix? And she said, oh, we can do that. And we did. And I thought, that I came up with that being a young boy, but I didn't come up with it. There were people already mixing different kinds of fruits to make different kinds of jams. But boy, we had jam and a lot of it. And I would put some of that jam, I started putting some of it on my cereal. Instead of just, we had sugar-free cereal, we'd add a spoon of sugar, however much you wanted to them. I don't do that now, but I started adding a spoon of jam or two, and that was so good. And yeah, try it. Teach your kids, buy some fruit, teach your kids to make some jam, bottle some jam. Be a blessing to them and to their kids, because I'll tell you, a lot of this younger generation, they know how to play video games, but they don't know how to grow their own food. And they don't know how to harvest it and put it up, a lot of them. And it's something that you might want to teach them. Now I'm going to put these back in this. Got some dirt in this pan. I'm going to dump that into another planter thing that I've got here. And I'm going to add this one back in after we get some aloe vera on it. Kind of messy, huh? But that's all right. Now I've got a few other grapevines that I cut. Now these are fresh that I just cut early this morning. And I should say during the night, it was like 4 in the morning. I went over there and mopped my parents' floor. Did some things while they were asleep. They're older, and whatever I do is, it helps them not have to worry about it. And anyway, my mother had mentioned last night that my sister's coming down from Idaho, and Dad spilled some milk on the floor. She'd like to get it all mopped before my sister gets down here. So I went over and did that, trying to do it while they were asleep without waking them up. I was still lying in bed wishing that I was asleep. All right. I'm adding these to the one that said aloe vera on it already. And don't really know how I'm going to know these are the other ones that I added to it, but they are. And some of these have, pretty good sized chunks of stuff on here. I tend to think that those might do a little better job developing roots. And I think what I'll do is cut this off a little more so that it fits in there better. And if I cut this off, you'll notice, look at that, how green that is right there. It's green. And if I cut the other piece of this, yeah, see that? So this was coming off, this branch here was coming off a bigger vine. And I'm gonna shove that in, and I think it's got a really good chance of growing, but we'll see. So get that down in there. Only got so much room in these bottles, right? But if I can grow these, have success, and I've done it before, but not with these non-commercial root stimulators. But yeah, then you can give them away to other people, and or sell them. You might be able to do a business doing this and develop some of this stuff commercially where you're making a living propagating plants. So know that that's a possibility. Right now we live in a little apartment, like I said, near my parents, and so it has not been a priority for me at this point to go back out and do that. I've done other things before, and I certainly know real estate really well. If anybody needs help in buying or selling property here in Utah, we actually don't own property ourselves right now, but I know real estate very, very well, and worked a lot of years as a certified appraiser, and didn't make the money some of those guys did. I saw a lot of guys play the game and get very wealthy. I chose to be honest in my work on appraisals that I did, and that didn't always make it easy for people to borrow all the money that they wanted to borrow. So needless to say, a lot of lenders didn't want, they wanted appraisals that seemed to make things work a little better for their loans. And alrighty, I'm going to put these all back in. And you want to make sure when you fill this this dirt, you want to make sure that you keep moisture in there, because that moisture is what's going to, help the plant continue to perspire, grow. It's got a, I don't know if perspire is the word. My goodness, here I am, a minor in horticulture, and anyway, to live. So we've got that, and now what I want to be able to do is do the same thing for some of these other fruit limbs. So these are things that I cut off. You grab a nice big leaf here. There we go. Another big aloe vera leaf. And what I did is I just put these in water in an old milk bottle. My mother used to deliver milk. Their family would wash these bottles out, fill them with milk, put a stopper on the top, and my mother helped deliver those to people in the small town that she was from. And all the kids would help. The ones that were old enough, they'd help wash eggs, and they'd help wash milk bottles, deliver milk. There is nothing wrong. In fact, there's everything right with teaching your children to work and helping them to learn some skills and serve other people. So this is an apple off my Honey Delicious tree. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try to see if we can get any roots growing on this. Instead of just grafting it, we're going to try to see if we can get a few of these actually rooting. So luck and prayers, how's that? Pray for these to root, and we'll see what happens. I want to get that down in there to make sure we've got soil up over that, at least one of the little buds on here. And we're going to have a number of fruit trees in this, or I should say branches, that we're trying to see if they'll root. And I'm not saying they will, but we're certainly going to give it a try. So over on this side are going to be the Honeycrisp, and then I'm going to put a great big Golden Delicious right in the middle. In fact, I'll probably put 2 of those. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work because this is kind of late. These are already budding, and it may work, it may not, but we're going to find out. And these are from an apricot. So the apricot blossoms, here's a little blossom right here. Yeah, there's a few of them. And I do believe we've already had the blossoms, if I recall, just coming out the last few weeks. So the leaves are going to be coming on here, and we're still going to see if we can get this to root. I'm not saying that we can, but we're certainly going to give it a try. So we got 2 of these apricots that we're going to give a try to. Look at that. It's already got little apricots coming on here, but they're not going to help. with what we're trying to do right now. So I'm going to just take some of those right off. That's going to go under the soil, doused in aloe vera, to see if it'll help stimulate root growth on this. Alrighty. And then in the middle of this, what I'm going to do, I've got this very long Golden Delicious. Let's see, it's probably, oh my goodness, it's probably about 40 inches long, about 3.5 feet long. And I'm gonna cut this into, oh, maybe 10 or so inches. There we go. And hopefully these won't just dry out, but I'm gonna take the bottom, these buds off the bottom. Gonna get aloe vera all over those. And we're gonna shove that in, ooh, into the middle of this. Let's put one of these really big ones into the middle. And yeah. And just see if we can get these ready. Wish me luck, because we probably need a little bit of luck and blessings to be able to have this work. All right, more aloe vera. Got plenty of it here. Yeah, I want to see if I can have my own aloe vera plant growing. I think that will probably root very, very well. And for this extra piece here, I'm probably going to have 2 aloe vera plants growing from that, so that we have some aloe vera here and don't have to go over to mom and dad's to get it if we ever need it for a burn, or I just want to use it experimenting like I'm doing right now. Yep. All righty. There we go. So we've got these dipped in aloe vera. I will add a little bit of water to these and see how it grows. Ah, here's some water. How about that? We'll add just a little bit to each of these too. There we go. And that's going to be pretty much it, except for the fact that I want to get this aloe vera growing. So I think what I'm going to do, I'll just show you here, is I'm going to break this off. It was growing in a window in a bathroom, and it grew out and around, and I'm just going to break it off here somewhere and shove and cut it. There we go. I'll shove part of this. For now, I'm just going to put it down in the dirt in this and see if that'll help it, start growing. I'm just going to shove this one in here. See if I can get it down in enough. Well, maybe. I really need to get a different container to put it in. So, anyhow, aloe vera will help stimulate root growth on different types of cuttings, and we'll see what works best on. We know it works well on the grapes, and you can refer back to the other videos that I did when I started that back on the 11th of March, and you can see yesterday where I transplanted a bunch of those into some other containers, and so that they each had a container, those that had leaves and maybe a little bit of roots on it, into their own container, so that they can start thriving. So this is Rod. Live within your means. Thank you for giving any likes and especially comments, or if you subscribe, that will help me and help this channel to move forward and the videos to be seen by others. So thank you for just being kind enough to put a comment, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you'd like to, and have a wonderful day.